RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right, everybody, what's up? Nice to see you. This is Tara Devlin. Unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. Let me know how it's sounding, if you can, on the chat. And there's Spooky, in case those who don't know. That's our little guinea pig over here. I thought maybe you'd like to see him in the corner at times. And I put Boudica in the bedroom because she was being a Boudica. And I don't know. I thought it would be very distracting. So I put her away so she won't be making a guest appearance. But we have Spooky. It's hard to see him, I know. He's kind of blending in with... He's in a playpen, and that's the tube that goes around, so he can stretch his little legs, or stumps, I guess, is what he calls legs. I mean, they're his legs, so they work for him. He's very cute. He's a good boy. He's like a big head with like two stumps. Well, 4. Why can't I count? All right. Yeah, he's just a good boy. You know, where are you, Spookarook? See, he answers to his name. I said, all right, listen. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Elise, for your super chat right out of the gate. I really appreciate it. And thank you, patrons. If you're a patron, I really appreciate it. I can't do it without you. You keep the show going and growing. And I don't know if you've noticed, but this is the liberal media. You're looking at it, and we only have each other. And if this isn't if this ain't the time to support the independent liberal media, there's no other time, because we're down to the wire. This country is teetering on the edge, and I'm really pissed off tonight. So I thought it would be a good time to have a show. And I also want to just tell you guys that if you can become a patron, I have to pay more attention in general. I'm telling you, I'm going to put as far as new patrons signing up, I've been kind of avoiding it because it's given me anxiety. And I also have to get the memberships up at YouTube, so maybe people would rather have that than Patreon. But if you can, now's the most what is it? Is it opportune? Is that the right word? But we really need the support. To tell you the truth, one of our steady benefactors has hit the road for their own personal reasons. I have no idea, but it's not very. It's not a good time to do that, but. Just saying, if you can make up the difference, that would be helpful in general. Otherwise, because, I don't want to end up on the street one day saying I had a liberal podcast, right? Hey, look at me, give me, like with my cup in hand. I'd rather e-beg and do a liberal podcast. So, all right, that's enough e-begging, for real. But yes, so patreon.com/Tara Devlin if you can. And also, there's also a link for the PayPal and blah, blah, blah. I hate doing this. If I was rich, if my father wasn't a garbage man, if he was for example, Donny Deutsch's father, Donny Deutsch, who pulled himself up by his bootstraps and inherited his father's advertising agency, that would be... How convenient for him, though, don't you think? Considering he's such a communications guru. Such a convenient and so lucky to be able to inherit daddy's advertising agency when you're such a comms guru. Just like kismet. The universe is a mysterious egg, isn't it? All right, yeah, e-begging is hard, yes. Twisted nerves painting, and sometimes it doesn't help, especially with the liberal media, because we don't have the billionaire benefactors. It's really true. And I can go on about Breitbart, how they received that old, he's dead now. Andrew Breitbart received $6 million from the Mercer family. He started his bullshit website Breitbart by himself, and then he received, because that's all you have to do is you have to be a conservative. And it's like Candace Owens. She started trying to do liberal talk, trying to do a liberal show, but she realized the money's not in it. Just like what's his face, Sean Hannity said to Mike Malloy. Well, you still doing this liberal talk? The money's in conservatism. See, that's how you know what we're dealing with. These are people that couldn't give a shit if this country went the way of, the Roman Republic. They don't care. They're selfish. They're in it for themselves. They're not in it for the grand experiment. And just like I'm not here to get rich, I just don't want to get broke doing a show. And if I would hope, it would be something that people would value what we're doing here, getting together, trying to do something about the last days of of the American Republic. I almost said Roman Republic. So, yeah, well, kind of following that footstep. So, let me see. Yeah, so whatever. Everything sucks. That's basically the summary. And it's a little annoying to have to e-beg, but whatever. Comes with the territory. And, all right, listen, let me think. Where do we begin? I'm pissed off. I figured, let's do a show. I'm pissed. I need my therapy. So, thank you. You're funny, Sandy, on the chat. I had a liberal podcast in America starring Meryl Streep as Tara Devlin. I would be honored. That would be great. She would do a great job as me, I think. Right? I could see her. She'd just have to let her hair grow very long, only because I haven't been to the freaking salon. I don't go to a salon. What's a salon? I need a salon, but I should go. Now I sound like Trump, like just fucking rambling about shit. Stop me when I get to sharks and batteries, okay? All right, I'm pissed off because, well, I mean, you know what? I have this feeling. And before I keep going, thank you, Jim, again, for your super chat. And there you go, Jim, setting the standard right out of the gate, putting the cover charge on the table. And also thank you for being a moderator in the chat room. So far, you're the sole moderator, so keep your eye out for the trolls. So, and hopefully maybe Haiku, Mark will show up. We never know, to help you out. So, okay, haven't we seen this movie before? The Democratic Circular Firing Squad. I don't know, man. I'm really bugging out here. I am so sick of this. From the minute, how many days has this freaking been since this debate? It's been nearly 10 days, and the media is still talking about this. And half of the time, I have to say, I don't know if you've been watching it, they're making excuses for themselves, saying, "Though this isn't the media, this is the people. It's the polls." Well, how many times have we been? Have we been told about the polls? Like, for example, in the midterms, we were told it was going to be a red wave, historical headwinds. Biden is set to lose the House by historic margins. Everyone's going to die. The whole world's going to blow up. And it was barely a blip. There was no red wave. The freaking fascists, they won the House by a couple of seats thanks to the gerrymandering that the Republicans did in New York, which has been overturned by the courts in New York. So this coming election, they won't be under that favorable map that they rigged. So even though today it was pissing me off too, because watching Katy interview Chuck Todd And the two of them together was giving me agita like I've never had. Like you've never seen. Like nobody's ever seen. Speaking of talking like Trump. And, oh, God, will this ever end, right? Thinking about him every day, seeing that disgusting face every day, having to endure his filthy musings. Come on. I have to tell you, as each Democrat came out saying, Joe Biden, for the sake of the country, Joe Biden should resign or step down or whatever. You know, the fact is, what if there is a problem, all of this shit should be taking place behind closed doors. Do you fuckers know how to play this game? I'm talking to Democrats. I'm so aggravated by this. They come out of the meeting that they have, the family meeting, supposedly, they call it. And immediately, they start flapping their fucking gums. Shut the fuck up. I'm sorry to curse so much, and it's not even 9 o'clock. Let me reel it in. And, does anybody know... See, this is the thing. I feel like we've seen this before. The Democrats, once again... helping because they suck at this. They suck at this game. They have no discipline. The filthy traitor could take a dump on the Constitution in the middle of Fifth Avenue while shooting somebody. And the Republicans will make excuses and rally behind this manifestly unfit con man. So, as the day progressed, and this Democrat says, that Democrat, no, let's, every couple hours, and now this one says Biden should drop out. All right, well, who am I calling now? Because I called every single one of them. Some, I didn't pick up the phone. You leave a message, and I will try to remember. Basically what I said was, I asked if they know how to play the game of politics. If the person was on the phone, they generally didn't answer me, but continued to say the only response to the question, should Biden drop out, should be, there's one candidate in this race who should drop out. Yes. And it's the tax cheating, draft dodging, wannabe dictator con man with the fake university, the vitamin scan, the convicted felon who received fewer votes but isn't man enough to accept the peaceful transfer of power, the pathological liar, the one with classified documents in his shitter, the one who was convicted of rape, the one who sent a mob to hang his vice president, the one who is adjudicated or deemed to be the worst president in American history by over 40 historians, the one who is a Putin puppet who met in secret with Vladimir Putin and confiscated the transcript, the one who vows to be a dictator on day one. That one? That's the one who should get out of the race for the sake of the country. The one with the classified documents, the one who stole the classified documents, the one who called up Georgia and said, I need you to find these amount of votes to win. The one who has the vocabulary of a 12-year-old, who is the only thing he's ever done to this country is poison the blood of this country, dragging us down to his disgusting juvenile level. That's what you say. That's the answer. And if there's questions behind closed doors, then those need to be addressed behind closed doors. You don't go out and immediately start flapping your fucking gums on CNN. Michael Bennett, who's another one. He's so annoying. I never liked him, okay? He plays this everyman, and he's a big, supposedly he's all for working people, but he's the same one that's when we were discussing Obamacare and when Bernie was talking about, Medicare for all, like the rest of the whole fucking world. he was the one that he positioned himself as this champion of unions. Well, what about the unions who have negotiated these Cadillac plans? And that's so unfair. Yeah, it's so unfair for everyone to have health care, right? It's because basically what he's saying, what Michael Bennett is saying, is that he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. But it's the grand American tradition of "I got mine, sucks to be you." Oh well, right? As long as I got mine, why do I care if millions are left behind? What do I care? Today it's not me today, but it might be you another day. That's the thing in this fucked up country. There are no guarantees that you're in, and we've discussed it before. Yeah, people in this country seem to only see the light when something affects them directly, especially right-wingers. And then they're like, oh, I see now I believe in Medicare for all. Now because I see I can't get health care. I see. Right? Oh, God. Well, thank you, non-useful, for your super chats. Not to change the subject. So, if Trump wins, suicide cases will soar. Exactly. Trump is toxic. MAGA must lose or we all lose. Exactly. This is the argument. There is no argument. The fact is, Joe Biden on his worst day is light years better than Traitor Trump on his best. And his best is pretty goddamn worst, too. Because, here's the other thing that I don't see anyone pontificating on the corporate media. How, if Biden is supposed to be so fucking out of it, well, why is he having such a historic presidency? And this is something they're all conceding to, these Democrats and even the pundits, when they're bashing Biden. I love the guy. He's the best. He's at the greatest presidency. It's been consequential. He brought us back from the brink. He's created more jobs than any other president in the last 50 years combined. He's brought manufacturing back. We're finally manufacturing chips again in the country. That making jobs, historic investment in climate change, aka jobs, renewable jobs that can't get shipped overseas, and they $35 insulin, student loan forgiveness, allowing the American young people to get established, not to simply be indentured servants to banksters. And the first president to ever join a picket line, a pro-union president. So if he's so fucking out of it, I don't get how it's been so historic. And then they're saying, can he continue? It's only going to get worse. But here's the thing. Like I said, Trump on his best day. So I guess I could say it that way too. But Biden on his worst day is 100 times head and shoulders over that filthy con man. On any day. He's never had a good day, that fucking con man. Every day has been about kissing his own ass, filling up that empty, vapid, bottomless pit of need and greed that can never be sated, no matter how many maggots stand there as his narcissistic supply, for God's sakes. So, come on. Now, okay, we're going to go through some of the most ridiculous things that we've seen, and I'm just sick of Democrats, frankly, because here we fucking go again, right? That's how I feel. When I was watching this today, I'm like, not again. Not a goddamn again with this. Every time, and this is the other thing, guys, as you know, every time they're saying, well, this is why we're coming out. This is why it must be addressed, because it is such a critical time. And we appreciate him, Joe Biden. He's been such a great president. But we can't play games here. This has been, there's so much on the line. Everything's at stake. Well, yeah. That's why you shut the fuck up. You're weakening the president. You're weakening the Democratic Party. You're making the Democratic Party as unfathomable as it is. You're making the Democratic Party seem more confused than the filthy fascists. It's incredible how how the right wing of this country, who are promising to destroy the grand experiment, it will be over. They have a blueprint called Project 2025. If they get their grubby, greed-centered claws around the neck of power, they're going to squeeze the life out of the American experiment. It's going to be over. It'll be Grover Norquist's dream. You know, his shrinking government to the size of where he can drown it in the bathtub. But no, they won't be shrinking government down. They'll be shrinking democracy down. Because when Republicans say they hate government, what they really mean is that they hate democracy. That's always been the case. They like government just fine, as long as it's rigged in their favor. They like authoritarian government. They love big government. Are you kidding me? The bigger, the better. They go right up right into your doctor's office, right into your private lives, right into your, decisions on if you're going to use contraception or not. Right? How you want to have a family? You want to plan a family with your significant other? You better invite the Republicans. They're there whether you like it or not. That's the Republican government. If you want to form a marriage contract with somebody of the same PP, forget it. That you want to read a book that maybe you can find yourself in identify, the vast diversity of the human experience. Maybe you could see yourself in that book. Not want to kill yourself as a young person, or maybe you're a straight, a cis white male young person, and you're not a disgusting, hate mongerer, despite what your maggot father wants you to be, and you want to expand your experience and see the world through other people's eyes. There's nothing wrong with that. That's actually one of the great things about being alive, don't you think? That's why Mother Nature imbued us with empathy, so we could feel each other's pain, see each other's experience, see the world through others' eyes. And Republicans, that's it. That's it for that. They're so small. And this country's just too damn big for them. And I mean that literally and figuratively. Really. They can't function in a country that's big. They have to make it as small as they are. And that's what they're doing. And then, let's start off. I have a few videos. Let me see. Let me get where the heck is the folder? That's why I need a producer. All right. Let me see. Here's Trump at his rally. Now, imagine, this is for yesterday. Imagine, if you will, play the game with me. Imagine for a minute Joe Biden behaving like this or saying anything remotely in the same neighborhood as what Traitor Trump rambles on about.
I'm also officially challenging Crooked Joe to an 18-hole golf match. Who wants to drive an electric car for the rest of your life? Does anybody?
Boo!
They hit this guy in the basement and then they cheated on the election. His son is running it, right? You know that, right? You know that. He's running our government. I didn't even know what the hell.
Why does he always do that? What does he got to take a shit? Or is that when he evacuates his bowels into his diaper? And his leaning. You know, that's his being casual with the maggots. You know, even though he's reading off a teleprompter. That's the other thing I heard all day. How, especially with Katy Tur. We'll get to her, guys. I hate to do this to you, but I ain't looking at this shit alone because I wanted to vomit all day. And really, it's very difficult. I need you guys to come with me on the Katy Tur, the exploration of what we're up against. So, all right, let's just continue.
NATO was too much before, but
listen to this fucking traitor.
Government. I didn't even know what the hell NATO was too much before, but it didn't.
He didn't know what NATO was too much before. He didn't know what NATO was. He got to be the so-called president despite receiving fewer votes. And besides that, he became a fucking grown-ass person who wanted to, or, you know, did run for president, who would go on talk shows and these fuckers would ask him about him running for president. Remember that all those years? He would just throw it out there. Yeah, well, if I were president, I'm going to run for president. People would poo-poo it. But the fact is, the media pundits and whoever else, the talk shows that he was on, you know, they all entertained it with him, and they would ask him, you know, asking this complete ignoramus about life. Because why? Because he inherited his daddy's real estate fucking business and bankrupted it 5 times. That's why, right? So we're supposed to, because this, I mean, it really is an example of how screwed up everything is, you know? That even before this scumbag, I mean, he has no business being anywhere near any hall of power, the steps, the sidewalk, the fucking coffee shop across the street. He has no business being anywhere near power. And because he's a bottomless ignoramus. He knows nothing. He has no, and worse than that, we thought George W. Bush was bad when it came to being an ignoramus, but he's intellectually incurious. He has no desire to learn. He thinks that it comes by genes, by osmosis. His uncle was in MIT or something, right? He was a professor or something, so he says. And that means he knows many things. He also knows shit by osmosis. It doesn't work like that, as we know, but if Joe Biden said anything close to that, the double standard is what's killing us, frankly. You know, this is a fucking guy that says he will pardon the traitors who stormed the Capitol and defecated and urinated in the halls, broke the windows, broke the doors down, beat the cops, brought their bear spray, cattle prods, and zip ties, chanting, "Hang the vice president." They built a gallows outside. These pricks, this scumbag, he says he's going to pardon them. How come Katy Tur doesn't do a daily show from the minute she signs on to the minute she signs off about that? Just that alone. Just that alone. It's incredible.
Take me long to figure it out. I said, "Sir, Chris."
Well, you know this is a lie right here, right? Because when he starts with the sir, it's in what fucking world, okay? Do the NATO allies come to that orange turd walking and call him sir. Sir. They're all equal partners, right? NATO is an alliance. I didn't know what NATO was, but I figured it out. I mean, what is with the inflection? That's him being casual. I figured it out. No, you didn't. Because you still don't know that it's not a protection racket. You filthy con man. He's a petty little wannabe dictator. That's the story. That is the only story. Not should Biden step down and all these other, and we'll get to it, George Clooney and Rob Reiner and Jon Stewart and who's the guy, Bill Maher. All of these fucking people, you notice that what they have in common: straight, white, cis males, rich, of course. They can afford to take a chance, I guess, by kneecapping Joe Biden, the nominee. If he doesn't step down, he's the nominee. And guys, I'm sure you know this, that there's a campaign finance laws to take into consideration. It doesn't simply transfer to another candidate. So where will we find the candidate in the next 4 months and build up the same campaign apparatus that Joe Biden already has on the ground because of the millions of dollars he has and in his campaign coffers, in the campaign war chest? Now, I guess he could abdicate the throne, right? Because to me, this is what they're doing. They think it's like, because Trump is wannabe dictator and the illegitimate and corrupt Supreme Court gave him the right of kings. So that's an aside. So, but he's not the king, right? So Joe Biden doesn't behave like a king. So he's not on his own. He's not doing things on his own. He's not making decrees. If he meets with Putin, he meets with a team. There's a team there. There's a cabinet. There's an entire administration of experts, of people who know what they're doing, who care about democracy, who know what's legal, what's not legal, who aren't violating the laws and then going to the Supreme Court and saying, please make me a fucking dictator. And they say, well, sure. That is outrageous and needs to be undone, to put it mildly. This Supreme Court and this maggot cult are out of control. That's what we're up against, Katy Tur. And everybody else, George Clooney. And you can't hide behind that this is it's everything's on the line. Everything's at stake. That's why you shut your fucking hole. Well, how is that so hard? Shut your hole and stop weakening the president, because that's what they're doing. They're making it worse. This bullshit debate could have been well in the rearview mirror by now. It would be a blip. But these fucking corporate media bastards and the Democrats who are trying to get their, I guess, clip on CNN, like Michael frickin' Bennett, are making it worse. They are the ones who are weakening Biden. And well, I have some more clips about that too. So let's just finish this, because I don't need to do this to you. I know how when I see this disgusting tax cheating, draft dodge. Oh, well, what else? I mean, he called veterans those who made the ultimate sacrifice for this country, he called them losers and suckers. How dare he? Oh, and you do know that in Project 2025, he's doing away with the Veterans Administration. That's over, bubbies. Right? It's right in there. They're turning it. It's socialized medicine. So privatize that shit. Go fuck yourself. Go die. You should have died for your country, you loser and sucker. He doesn't just think that those who died for the country are losers and suckers, or those who got wounded. He wouldn't take pictures with wounded veterans because he didn't like the optics of that. What a dirtbag. What a filthy dirtbag. But somebody who's a draft dodger, who never wore the uniform, whose entire lineage never wore the uniform. You think that's an accident? That's because that's how they feel. They think that not just those who died for the country are losers and suckers, anyone who sacrifices for this country, anyone who serves their country is a loser and a sucker in their estimation, in the Trump world view. Absolutely no doubt. Because otherwise there would be somebody in their line that would have served. I don't know about your line, or I have in every generation, including myself. I served this country. I've done more for this fucking country than Traitor Trump could imagine in 10,000 lifetimes. Because he is the worst thing that's ever happened to this country. And we have an obligation to make it stop. To not let it get any worse. In spite of what we're up against. In spite of this effing corporate media, which, you know what? The other thing that gets me about this effing corporate media is that they take no responsibility. Like they're saying things like, we're only reporting what they're saying, and it's the polls. It's not us. It's the polls. Like they have no influence. We're just reporting. It's a fucking feedback loop. It's like as if Thomas Paine's pamphlets had nothing to do with the American Revolution. I don't know. I was just reporting the feeling of the day. That's what people were thinking and feeling. Well, when you put it down, or you put it on paper, or you broadcast it, or you repeat it, you're spreading it. You're getting it into people's heads. And what do you think happens when all people hear are, Biden's too old? And then they always preface this, of course, like I was saying, with, well, he's had a great presidency, but it's not breaking through. And believe it or not, I actually heard Katy, surprise, surprise, say that the fact that Joe Biden's accomplishments aren't breaking through to the average Joe on the ground is Joe Biden's fault again. Well, what the fuck is he supposed to do? He gives press conferences. His media team is pretty crack. They're right on the case with a lot. I'm pretty impressed with them, frankly. They are a quick response team. They run ads. They have their surrogates out on the media trying to do their best. But if every day the only topic is up in the polls, down in the polls, that's another day you're not discussing the accomplishments, right? It's not Joe Biden's fault. What's he supposed to do? I guess, I have to say, what he should do is get on the bully pulpit, do a nationwide address. I don't know. This is the thing. The other thing is, I have to say, like we're saying here, like I just said, Joe Biden on his worst day is 100 years. I'm not even holding my nose to vote for him. I don't care if he's old, if he needs a fucking nap. If something happens, they wake him up. If he's a little slow, he's old. No one can escape time, George Clooney says. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? He doesn't have dementia. Katy Church says, well, he's reading off a teleprompter. Well, there's plenty of clips of him not reading off a teleprompter, and he sounds just fine. And the other thing is, as I've explained before, my father had dementia. You can't read off a teleprompter. I don't care. You can't fucking read if you have dementia. You could barely read, especially if you're in the beginning. You can't just sit there and read. This it would be obvious. He wouldn't be able to read a teleprompter. I'm sure people on the chat have family members have experienced this, not just myself, with a loved one with dementia. He doesn't have dementia. I'm not a doctor, but I know what dementia looks like. I know what early dementia looks like. He doesn't have it. And this, I mean, if he really was that awful, why would the disgusting right-wing fascist propaganda machine have spent all that time selectively editing the videos when he was overseas with the Normandy commemorations? Lying, spreading things. Oh, he wandered off, which was a complete lie. Oh, God. But it's you know, there's one thing to say. History will not be kind to the Republican Party and this maggot traitor Trump. But what's it going to say about the Democrats that grease the wheels for him again, that never learn, that don't know how to play the game? The only answer to the question is Joe Biden on his best day, on his worst day, is better than Trump, is light years beyond traitor Trump on his best day, and he's never had a best day. His best days are the worst. This fucking Trump has never worked a day in his life for this country. You understand that? Even when he stained the White House, despite receiving fewer votes, he didn't work for this country. He did nothing for this country. He never thought about the people he pretends to represent, the people he whips up with the help of the Republican Party. And let me get to that too, because earlier, wait, let me just see for a second. I don't know, I was on Twitter. Sometimes before I go on the show, I'll look at Twitter, because even though it's a cesspool, it's it is that's what Threads needs. I got to get out of Twitter. It's a horror show, proving yet again that everything right-wingers touch, they destroy. They turn it into such a sewer, really, right? But I was on Twitter. Wait, hold on a second. Fuck. I want to see what was trending. Yeah, hold on. I'm getting a beach ball. Hold on. Let me continue this video while I work this out.
Christie is not a fat pig. Please remember that.
Oh, my God.
He is not a fat pig. Please take it back.
All right. Let's play that again. That's the Republican standard bearer.
It didn't take me long to figure it out. I said, sir, Chris Christie is not a fat pig. Please remember that. He is not a fat pig. Please take it back.
Unbelievable, right? Don't we deserve better than that? I know Republicans don't deserve better, because that's what they like. That's them. They appreciate that kind of sophomore. Well, not even sophomoric. To call it sophomoric is to elevate it. That juvenile, babyish bullshit. That's all they have. Oh, and the other thing, I posted a video on TikTok yesterday, and about, I'm voting for Joe Biden. I also posted it here on YouTube. And one thing you could say that is guaranteed with the right is that they got nothing but little name calling, little babyish taunts. That's it. They never have any coherent argument or justification. It's all, oh, you're get laid. That's what somebody said. Get laid, old lady. Old lady? Okay. Get laid. As if, like, what the fuck? Yeah, you're stupid. Another one was, you're a C, period. You like trying to write it so it doesn't get flagged by the algorithm. I'm a see you next Tuesday. But that's their scintillating commentary, right? That's all they got. I'm making the case. You could vote for Trump. Say, I'm voting for Trump because he's as ugly and as racist as I am. He hates the same people I hate. And I hate diversity. I hate democracy. I'm a Christian fascist who wants to destroy this country, and I appreciate everything he's doing to help that aim come to fruition. So, getting back to the Twitter thing, it finally loaded. The Republican, so I don't know. I started seeing this thing trending that was saying how Democrats, 198 Democrats, oh, it's still trending. And I was like, what is this about 198 Democrats? Well, the stupid, the Republicans, this is how devious they are. They put of course, this is what they do. This is how they play the game, though. Democrats should really take notice. But they put a line in a bill that said that illegals, right, can't vote. They can't vote legally in American elections. That's already the law, okay? So they slipped it into this bill, and the Democrats weren't playing the game, and they voted. Well, you know what? The Democrats, they should have just voted whatever. Yes, they should have just agreed. Okay, yeah, illegals, even though this is redundant. People who aren't citizens don't vote in our elections. It's already illegal. But the Republicans they put that line in there solely so they could trigger their easily triggered racist base into exactly what they did, to fan out all over social media like the flying monkeys they are, spewing Democrats are they said that it's not legal. It's that they voted against a bill. This is what they're saying, that says that allowing illegals the right to vote. Democrats say illegals can vote in our elections, which is not true. It's absolutely not true. Federal law already prohibits non-citizens from voting in federal elections. This includes undocumented immigrants. Okay? This bill focused on voting rights and campaign finance reform. That's what the bill is. Republicans proposed a motion, that's what it was, that says allowing illegal immigrants the right to vote devalues the franchise as, like, I mean, they have balls like Hoppity Hops to say anything about devaluing the franchise of voting. These scumbags who lie as easily as taking in a breath, right? About voting, about the election system, which was not the con man lost the election. Oh, don't they have balls, though? Okay. Allowing illegal immigrants to vote devalues the franchise and diminishes the voting power of United States citizens. 228 Democrats voted against this motion, while 197 Republicans voted for it. However, voting against this motion does not equate to voting in favor of allowing undocumented immigrants to vote, because they're already prohibited from voting in our elections because of federal law, which supersedes whatever the fuck, I don't know what they're fucking doing, any state law, or it is the law of the land. This motion that the racists, the racist Republicans tickling racist funny bones, that's what they're doing. So their flying monkeys can go on Elon Musk's pustule and go nuts about absolute fiction, as always, right? Always wasting our time with nonsense. That's what Republicans do. Just like everything else. We've talked about this before, how they waste America's time all the time. Now they're fomenting a freak out about illegals. Democrats voted for illegals to vote in the election, which is not true. So let's all have a circle jerk and waste everyone's time about it. Just like we had to all waste our time about how allowing people with the same peepees to form a legal marriage contract would be a slippery slope to marrying your pets. And how Obamacare would lead to death panels. Where are the death panels? I'm still waiting for the Republicans to say, oh, I'm sorry, we were wrong. But they knew they were wrong all along, didn't they? Just like this. Everything it's performative. And I wonder, it's very embarrassing. I get embarrassed for the average Joe right-winger, because I have to wonder, how much do they enjoy being played? Will it ever stop? Don't they have any dignity? Don't they have any self-respect? But I guess if they did, they wouldn't be voting for a con man who talks like this.
Please remember that. He is not a fat pig. Please take it back.
All right. That's all they got. And they talk about they love this country? How do you dare? How dare you? Are you that delusional, right-wingers, to say you love this country, but you inflict something like that on it? If anyone running in a student election behaved like that, they would be immediately disqualified. Right? If they got up on the student election debate stage at the local high school or junior high and started talking about fat pig or horse face, they would be put in detention. But Republicans, haha, they laugh. Oh, isn't that hilarious? Fat pig. What a disgrace. What a disgrace. Shouldn't they be embarrassed? Really, I want the answer. Does anybody know? I'm just looking at the chat, looking for answers here, because it's so beyond reason. How much do you hate yourself to put that disgusting? Well, maybe it's not hating themselves. They hate the country, right? They must hate. They have to hate everybody in the country. That's why their merchandise is Trump giving the middle finger. Now, what are you giving the middle finger to? You have to wonder. Imagine, okay, if we had merchandise with Biden or anybody, any Democrat giving the middle finger. Democrats don't do that. They just give the middle finger to each other and fuck each other over. But fucking us, the American people, over by extension. But, what are you giving the middle finger to? What, to $35 insulin? To jobs? that were created under Biden, and they're not bounce back jobs, by the way. Those were handled in the first 6 months of Biden's administration. Now there are more jobs created and taking out, not even factoring in the pandemic, taking out the pandemic. This fucking traitor Trump is not even close. He's Herbert Hoover without the pandemic. That's for sure. He's Herbert Hoover without the Great Depression. His policies sucked. Of course they did, because everything he touches, he destroys. It's all about enriching himself. In fact, I think I saw a report that he made like $1 billion for himself while president. While pretending to be the so-called president, despite receiving fewer votes. And of course, he was never working for the American people. You understand that. If anything happened for the American people, it was a complete accident. What happened? These Republicans passed a tax cut, 88% of which went to the 1% permanent. The little tax breaks, I won't even call them gains, because they picked the American people's pockets. They picked out of one pocket, put it in the other pocket. It was a shell game, because they cut things out that like mortgage interest that people could write off. They limited that, and they did, they fucked people over coming and going. Just the working people, average people. You got to get it somewhere. They need to, give it to the people who will never spend it in a million lifetimes. So, thank you, non-useful. Oh my God, I got something in my eye. Sorry. For your super chats, plural. If Trump wins, oh yes, I read this. I'm sorry, but I will read it again because you're very useful. Even though I don't know about non-useful. If Trump wins, suicide cases will soar. Trump is toxic. MAGA must lose or we all lose. Yep. Do you hear that, Katy Tur? And also, non-useful says, it's unfortunate the powers that control everything will let this shithole drive off into the sunset, claiming success, as they did to Confederate generals. You're absolutely right. Which they should have executed them all. That's my opinion. Lee, as soon as he surrendered, they should have just marched him right back. And they should have executed him. He's a fucking traitor. They let him all go home. Go home and be good boys and girls. That's what we've always done with right-wing traitors. And it's always been the right-wingers who are traitors. Right? Show me where liberals or lefties or whatever are traitors to the country in our history. It's always the right-wingers because they can't function. They lack the fundamental maturity to function in a free democratic society. And they don't like democracy. So this is the freak out that we're witnessing, their destruction is a direct result of us making progress. The more we extend the franchise, the more that we promote the general welfare, the more we consider others, leave no one behind. That's when they can't deal with it. It's just so outrageous, too. And just listening to the con man, even in that little clip there, go on about, do you want to drive an electric car? Boo! 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 The fuck is wrong with these people? Do you want to drive an electric car? Why don't you? If it was up to conservatives, we'd still be living in caves. Right? Do you want to live in a house? We'd be shitting in holes. Do you want to shit in a toilet? right? Nothing ever changes. That's conservatism. Oh, everything's the greatest in the past, but trust me, eventually, because everybody will be driving electric cars eventually. That's the way it is. It's going that way, whether you like it or not. And why wouldn't you like it? What is wrong with you? There's no gas. There's no exhaust. It's clean. It's smooth. It's nice. I have a hybrid, an electric car. It's very nice. Hi, trucker. I'm sorry, trucker. Oh man, we got to get you on the show. And I'm not just saying that. Let's maybe next Wednesday or something. We got to pick a date and just do it. Yes, trucker says, I love driving electric. I'll never go back to gas. Exactly. There's no, that's how I feel too. Once I drove my electric car, which is a hybrid, so when it runs out of charge, it goes into the gas. You can really feel the difference when it does that. All of a sudden, it goes from being very smooth and it's like, you can feel it. I like the electric. They are great. Exactly. Matt says, I have 2 electric cars. They are great. Just plug it in. And you fucking go. There's none of this. It doesn't smell. It's very smooth. What the hell? What is wrong with these people? Right? I mean, boo. Do you want to drive electric? Boo. And then, I'm sure you've seen, they're blocking the infrastructure for electric cars in these red states. It's like the world keeps evolving without them as usual, right? And they can't keep up. It's always dragging them, kicking and screaming all the time. But trust me, one day Republicans they'll position themselves as the champions of electric cars. Trust me, it'll happen. And Lionel Hampton Bot, Linnell Hampton Bot says, wait, Tara, you have an electric car in New York City? I live in Queens. I live in a borough, my friend. Not that I should say these things, because Republicans are very violent. I've already had dealings with the harassment with these fuckers. That's all they do, you know? Like, I don't have time to go harass these idiots. You know what I mean? We're working on making the world safe for democracy. Trying to get people health care, leaving nobody behind, you know. And they're, trying to harass me. Because, why? Because they love freedom? They love freedom so much. They love the Constitution. Freedom of speech. They're free speech absolutists. Right? Please. It's just unbearable. Guys, right-wingers, get help. Get the help you need desperately. Stop inflicting your manias on normal people, on this country. All right, let's get back to the dumbass Democrats. The Democrats in disarray. Okay, where do we begin? Oh my God, it's a nightmare. Let's start. I'm trying to find the good video to start with. Let's see. Oh, here's Biden without a teleprompter.
Said from the beginning that when labor does well, everybody does better. Not a joke. That's not a talking point. That is a reality. You know that, Lee. That is a reality. It is an absolute reality. I said I was going to be the most pro-union president in American history. Well, guess what? I am. I've said from the beginning.
Okay. I don't know. Doesn't seem that dimensioned to me. I mean, it just wouldn't happen. You couldn't act like that. You couldn't talk like that. You would whatever. You guys know. All right, let's see. Where do I even begin? Well, here's something on earlier in the day. This was driving me nuts. Here's just a segment on MSNBC. Jose Diaz Balart discussing Trump and what's the other guy's name? Jose or I'll have to look it up. He's former Representative Curbella. Just simply discussing Trump like he's a normal candidate. Now, mind you, let's just play it.
It's with Hispanic voters, a constituency that Republicans have been trying to garner support from, and also some of these Nikki Haley voters that still aren't sold on Donald Trump.
And Nikki Haley did release her delegates, said that they should go with Trump, although she's not apparently going to be going to the convention. What's that all about?
Well, I think Nikki Haley's trying to have it both ways. I mean, she was pretty aggressive in attacking Donald Trump.
Was she invited? We don't even know if she was invited.
She may have not been invited. I don't think her and the former president have had very much communication. So she wants to be loyal to the party, but at the same time doesn't want to embarrass herself and give Trump the big bear hug.
And meanwhile, the Vice President Harris, who Trump insulted, last night over and over again, spoke at a campaign event. Listen to part of what she had to say.
Biden should step down, and Democrats in disarray.
I will not repeat his words because they should never be repeated. But I will say that someone who vilifies immigrants, who promotes xenophobia, someone who stokes hate, should never again have the chance to stand behind a microphone and the seal of the President of the United States.
How do you read that, Carlos?
Jose, this is why a lot of Democrats think that even though Vice President Harris' polling numbers aren't very good today, that she could actually be a stronger candidate against Donald Trump. Why? Because Donald Trump can't help himself. He sometimes attacks people too aggressively.
He attacks. Whoa. He sometimes attacks people too aggressively, guys. Donald Trump. And I'm just playing this because this is what they talk about in between the entire day of Biden bashing. Okay? And they're simply talking about Trump as if he's just a normal candidate that somebody might choose, not a wannabe dictator who said he's going to. It's not that we're speculating. He said he's going to be a dictator only on day one. Only on day one. Tell me in the history of Earth what dictators step down after a day. Right? And Elise on the chat says Kamala would make a great president. Yeah, she would. And that's why, she's the vice president. That's why if something happens to Joe Biden, we have the whole infrastructure of democracy. I'm not saying this to you, Kathy. Elise, I understand. But we have a backup plan, but that's why you don't weaken your president, your candidate. She's, if it comes down to it, all of this shit should have happened behind closed doors, but we're a little bit late in the game and if that's why we shouldn't be upset if Biden needs a nap or something, or this is what they're saying. Well, what if something happens and nobody's there? What do you think is going to happen? This is what Katy's her was going on about. How, what if something happens? There's a crisis and Biden, is out of it or whatever. Get the fuck out of here, first of all. But that's why there's other people. There is a vice president. There is a cabinet. There's a whole bunch of experts surrounding Joe Biden. It's not him. They're not like King Biden. What do? We don't know what to do. They're running around with their hair on fire. Right?
Of the time, and when
this
you
is
do
incredible.
that against
wait. Just listen to how they're talking about him.
Why? Because Donald Trump can't help himself. He sometimes attacks people too aggressively.
Are you fucking kidding me? He sometimes attacks people too aggressively, like calling them fat pigs? Like a child. That's all he does. He's doing it for applause because he needs the narcissistic supply. He knows that Fat Pig is one of their favorite tracks at the Nuremberg rally. You know, it's Lock 'em Up, Fat Pig, Sleepy Joe, Crooked Joe, Golf Game, that's a new one. It's the old standbys. Or Like Nobody's Ever Seen, and Poor Me, that's another one. Well, The Victim, Poor Me, Witch Hunt. And I have to say, if you want to see a witch hunt, just watch the corporate media for the last 10 days since the debate. That's a witch hunt. What we're seeing now, what's going on in the media with the rich white men in the Democratic Party apparatus, the Rob Reiner and George Clooney, all these rich white men telling Biden to step aside. That's a witch hunt, and it's not stopping. It's not letting up. So give us a break here. That's why, the media, that's really the problem. Hold on. That's what's pissing me off. And that's the other thing that the Democrats, see, this is why they suck they just suck at this game. And I wish they would listen to this show. For real. Because I know how to message this, and they're not taking my advice. And our advice, really. Because you're not doing your candidate any favors by attacking him incessantly. And if the party was unified and it was simply the media going after Joe Biden nonstop, what the party should do, and if they took my advice, is start attacking the media as engaging in an unfair double standard witch hunt, which is what they're doing. Yeah, for how many years did I and us, the rest of this country in general, have to endure the right-wingers, the right-wing lie about the liberal media? All the time, since that filthy Rush Limbaugh, who's now burning in hell. So, the liberal media, there is no liberal media. That was a lie, too. The media does not lean liberal, but in as much as truth has a liberal bias, that's the truth. But there is no liberal media. And numerous studies have been done, because that's what we do in this country when right-wingers cry and complain and play their professional victim card. Everyone has to jump around and act like it's real, so then they have studies done. Is it really a liberal media? Well, it's not, because at the time when Rush Limbaugh was crying about the liberal media, they did studies, and I was studying communications in college, and there is no liberal media. The media does not lean liberal. In fact, because of the incessant whining and complaining by right-wingers, the media was overcompensating. They were trying to play it right down the middle. Both sides. They were both sidesing us to death. And here we are. And that's what the Democrats should do. If they had any, brains or knowledge of how to play the game of politics, they should unify and say, this is a double standard. You're not discussing Donald Trump. Joe Biden on his worst day is light years beyond Trump on his best day, and his best day is pretty goddamn bad. He wants to be a dictator, so Joe Biden had a bad debate. He's old. Yeah, nobody can escape Father Time. Well, I'll take feeble over evil any day. One thing. What are you going to say when they say, well, what can Biden? This is the other thing. We talked about this on the last show because they were saying how can we even, could you imagine Biden and Putin going toe to toe? Even Traitor Trump said that. So they're echoing him. And yeah, can you imagine? What's the answer to that question? The answer is, of course we can imagine, because Biden is not a traitor. What I'm still trying to imagine is what Traitor Trump said to Putin when they met in Helsinki by themselves behind closed doors with no Americans present, and Trump confiscated the transcript. Nobody ever brings that up. So don't give me this shit about you're so concerned what Biden's going to do. We know what he's going to do, because you know what? It's going to be broadcast. It'll be part of a press release. There'll be the cabinet will be there. There'll be other Americans. There'll be an American translator. Unlike when Traitor Trump met with Putin with no Americans in the room. Oh, he had to have the translator there, but it was a Russian translator that Putin brought. Because, Trump barely speaks English. He's such a dullard. So, how do you, I guess when you're, the language of love between dictators. They just have to look in each other's eyes. Like George W. Bush said, he looked in Putin's eyes. I mean, what a joke. These Republicans and this fucking media. It is a double standard. It totally is. It's a double standard that the Democrats, hello Dems, you should please listen to me for a minute. Don't attack your president. Don't attack your candidate. Attack the media who are holding Biden to a double standard. And then they go on about the polls. And like I said, we heard about the polls. I never get polled. I mean, that's what she said, but no one ever calls me and asks, I don't know about you, who are they calling? They're calling landlines? I never hear anything. Nobody's got a landline anymore except the Fox News audience. But we heard this before. And the fact that the Democrats, let me play this Michael Bennett son of a bitch, who we should all call and tell him to shut the fuck up. Fucking unbelievable. Michael Bennett. How dare you? He goes on CNN. Here we go.
Donald Trump is on track, I think, to win this election. And maybe win it by a landslide and take with him the Senate and the House. The White House, in the time since that disastrous debate, I think has done nothing to really demonstrate that they have a plan to win this election.
What? Because every time he does whatever you think he should do, they say it's not enough. And then the leaks come by people like you, and then you go on CNN, and then some other asshole goes on whatever other channel, and then they're releasing what's her face, somebody I'm trying to think of her name, Patty Murray. Patty Murray is now calling for Biden to fuck off. It's like, shut the fuck up. It's not working, whatever they're doing. We're going to lose in a landslide. Well, there's this team spirit, asshole. We're going to lose in a landslide. They're giving Traitor Trump everything he needs to justify his, his refusal to accept the results of the election. And they're going to play these clips. They're going to play Michael Bennett when they're storming the Capitol again, this time with assault weapons, probably with bump stocks that Uncle Clarence gave them the clearance for. He seems to be a big fan of bump stocks. He talks about how how much skill you need to pull the trigger and have it bump stock a spray of bullets into as many human beings in a very short period of time. Uncle Clarence is very impressed by the skill of killing as many people as fast as possible. So, I mean, Michael Bennet, everyone who is listening to this, I encourage you all to call Michael Bennett's office and tell him to shut the fuck up. To, stop cutting us off at the knees. Stop working for Trump. Because the fact is, these fuckers, like Michael Bennet, is doing more harm to our chances of saving democracy, maintaining a free, democratic, constitutionally limited democratic republic. He's doing more harm than the Republicans could ever hope to do, than Putin and his puppets in the GOP could ever hope to do. Oh my God. Non-useful in the chat says, I was polled. She asked, are you a Missouri voter? I said, yes. Next, are you a Democrat or a Republican? I said, Democrat. She said, the survey is locked. Goodbye. True story. Well, I'm not surprised. That's right. This is all a circle jerk. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It is a social contagion. That's why the polls are absolutely useless. Because all they do, when Katy Tur's like, well, it's not us. It's not the media. It's the polls. The people are saying they want a different candidate. Well, the people are saying they hate Trump with the heat of 1,000 burning suns. So when are you going to get to that story? When are you going to get to the story about he wants to be a dictator? When are you going to get to the story that he's a fucking felon, a rapist? I mean, all this shit. Imagine if they devoted the same time to the fact that Trump is a convicted rapist every day. Does America deserve better than than somebody who's been adjudicated to be a sexual predator? A jury of American citizens, including a grand jury, and then a jury, and in a court of law, saw the evidence and said, Traitor Trump is a sexual predator. He sexually assaulted E. Jean Carroll, and most likely others. There's a long list of women who have accused Trump of sexual assault. But where's Katy Tur? The non-stop Katy Tur daily, every single day, every day. Since the debate, it's been from the minute she signs on to the minute she gets off. See, look, on the Huffington Post. Let me see. Schumer is open to bumping Biden. First senator call. This has been going on for 10 days now. Latest updates. Shut the fuck up. What are you gonna say at this point? This is a witch hunt. They are fucking us. Democrats. I'm so sick of these fucking Democrats. I really am. I'm sorry for cursing a lot. I know I say that, but I can't help it. It comes out because I'm so aggravated. Oh, Jesus. All right. Well, you want to see some ridiculousness? First senator calls for dropout. Let's see who that is. Peter Welch. on Wednesday called Joe Biden to step aside and make way for a younger Let's just fucking, conjure up a fantasy football type nominee here. Let's just, put them together. The perfect one, the precious. Exactly. Play Dave on the chat. They're so weak. It is mind-numbing. Grow a spine, you fucking losers. Oh, and you know what? Before I play that, let's play this clip from, I can't remember the guy's name. When I see him, he used to be a Republican. Or a Republican. He's probably a Republican. And let me see. Oh, yes. Rick Wilson was on Joy Reid before I started the show. And I had to grab it because I knew it was going to be good. He's singing our song. And he's a Republican. I mean, Republican. He's not a bad person. So he's not one of the Republicans.
Is this, in your view, Alencia, the smartest way to have a conversation and stimulate a conversation about the future?
Listen, I think we have a lot that Democrats need to be talking about right now, the existential crisis on the other side, which you led into the segment with. And I also think it's frustrating for voters to feel as though their concerns haven't been heard. And a lot of the ways in which we're having this infighting publicly is making both sides dig their heels in and double down. And we look just as crazy as the other side, quite frankly. And it's disengaging voters who, quite frankly, one thing that we're not talking about, young voters, black voters, a lot of voters who already had concerns showing up in the polls in 2024. And so I think Democrats, the elites, the ones that are on cable news talking all the time, actually need to think about the issues and think about what it is that voters want and have an open conversation with them about their frustrations.
I mean,
a lot of their frustrations were before the debates. I think those just exacerbated them. But how do we have both of those conversations at the same time?
What conversation? One guy is a traitor who sent a mob to kill his vice president because he couldn't accept the peaceful transfer of power that he lost because he's a wannabe dictator, and how could he ever look Putin in the eye? Or the zipper, or whatever the fuck he looks him. And the other guy is a old style politician Democrat who believes in the system. He believes in the government, democracy. What is the concern? He's old. So what? We knew that. So what? He fucking stutters. He's slow. He rides a bike. I want to see Trump ride a bike, frankly, but it doesn't. That's beside the point. We had our greatest modern president of the 20th century was in a wheelchair. So, come on. Are we this stupid? And voters had concerns only because it was nonstop corporate media bashing. This is a witch hunt. This is a witch hunt. Imagine if the corporate media reported the wins like we talk about on the show. Go to some factories opening. Make a comparison to the fact that when Reagan trickled on our legs and told us, well, he peed on our legs and told us it was trickling, how we went from the most upwardly mobile to the least upwardly mobile, from the slightest income gap to the widest income gap ever since Reaganomics. And do some comparison how the rich, the corporate interests superseded the interests of the American worker, and how they shipped our jobs overseas, and now they're coming back, and what it's like to have manufacturing back in the country, to have in fact now there's more money being put into the building of factories than for over a generation. So how things are changing. Go and do some stories about how someone who was suffering with diabetes for years finally has some freedom because they're only paying $35 for insulin now rather than the thousands they paid before, which Republicans did fuck all for them, and in fact are trying to undo that. You understand that? So everywhere the American people get a little relief, Republicans, I'm not even kidding, they're in court trying to ensure that Americans have to pay more for drugs, that Medicare and Medicaid can't, that they're trying to roll back the thing that Joe Biden rolled back, that Medicaid can finally negotiate drug prices again, and Republicans are in court trying to roll it back. What is that? That says it all. But okay, hold on. I thought. Here we go. Let me just move. This lady's going blah blah blah.
Went to him. It came out afterwards that he had gone to him privately and said, "We want to spare you the indignity of an impeachment. You need to step down before that happens."
Wait, let me roll this back a little, because she's talking about that this bullshit show that the Democrats are putting on for the press. And really think about it. She's 100% correct, because they're saying that Joe Biden is such a great president, such a consequential president. He's great. I love him. He's the best, blah, blah, blah. But they're not even giving him the dignity of a private conversation. They're doing this out in the public, and it's very insulting, frankly. I would be pissed if I was him too, especially if I really believe that I'm fit for the job. He had a bad day. Okay. And the other thing is, if the vice president she's also saying she's supporting him, there is no possible upside for her to lie about that. She might as well go and say, I'll run. I want to be the president. But she's saying, no, he's fine. He's fit. I work with him every day. What is the upside for her lying about it? Right? There is none. She could it would be detrimental to her if it came out after the fact that he's really not fit. Then it would be revealed she's not telling the truth. But this is just a complete self-inflicted wound by the Democrats. It's one thing for the media to go on about it. It's another thing for your own party to start again with the circular firing squad. It is a reflection of how weak they are. You realize what's going on the Republican side is they're laughing their asses off at this, at the fact that the Democrats don't know how to play this game. They're ridiculous. Michael Bennet is ridiculous. These effing Dems are ridiculous. The ones that are coming out, I don't know, he's going to lose. He's going to take everybody he's going to take the Congress. He's going to take the Senate. We heard this before, but you're not helping, Michael Bennet. You're not helping. So Joy Reid is saying that it's it's just even worse because they're not giving Biden even the courtesy. As much as they say how great, he's wonderful, he's been a great president, they're not giving him the courtesy of a private conversation. They're doing it right in front of. It's like, taking out your dirty underwear and just throwing it here, take it, press, take it and run with it.
You got Hollywood moguls of all kinds jumping in and saying things. Op-ed writers have fun ideas. What strikes me about this that is weird is that when Richard Nixon, who was a crook, was driven out of the party in the 1970s, he was given more dignity by his party. Barry Goldwater went to him. It came out afterwards that he had gone to him privately and said, "We want to spare you the indignity of an impeachment. You need to step down before that happens." A deal was cut in advance for him to be pardoned by Gerald Ford. He was given more dignity than Democrats are giving their own sitting president, who's done, nothing much for them except give them like a giant infrastructure bill, paid off a bunch of people's student loans, which is life-changing for people, giving them $35 insulin to run on. So it's not like he's not giving them anything to run on, and he's not the one benefiting from that. That's supposed to benefit them. But all they needed was the Cook Political Report to come out and redo their rankings for all these districts, and they're like, destroy him publicly. I mean, if they want him to go, isn't there a more dignified way for Democrats to maybe behave than to publicly humiliate him?
Joy, this is an example of the difference in the two parties.
There you go.
That as a former Republican, I can tell you, if Donald Trump tomorrow said, I'm a cannibal, I love to eat live babies, I barbecue them at Mar-a-Lago every day, every single Republican would go, well, yes, it's the new fashionable meat. This is what we should all be doing. They would get in lockstep. Here's why they have a political powerhouse in that unity and that loyalty, is they understand that this is a race that matters. If Democrats think right now they're going to have some Baroque, bizarro world, candidate switch, flip-flop, they're overlooking two things. Joe Biden had 14 million Democratic voters come out and vote for him in the primary this year. He has all the delegates at the convention. It's not my job to tell Joe Biden what to do. It's my job, and it should be everyone's job in the Democratic Party right now, to turn their fire on the one person who will destroy them and the country, Donald Trump. Every single day I wake up and go, what is the best and highest use of my time? And my time is best used taking an iron pipe to Donald Trump's kneecaps. It is best for everyone to remember that if you play this game out past the convention, you will have given Donald Trump a 2-month vacation where he works in his golf game as Democrats sit in the circular firing squad. This has got to stop. The unity, look, and at the end of the day, whether the candidate is Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or some guy from behind the bus station, we're running against a guy who will destroy this country by implementing his Project 2025 blueprint. And no matter how much Donald Trump says he didn't do Project 2025, it's got his revolting DNA all over it. This is a guy who, if we don't focus on the fact that this is a race against Donald Trump, a referendum in this country against Donald Trump, we're going to end up with 4 more years of Donald Trump. This is something I hope my Democratic friends and allies and colleagues will wake the hell up and understand that no matter what your inter-party dispute about Joe Biden is right now, you better turn the machine back on and attack Trump every minute, every day, every hour without stop.
Amen. And the other piece, the last thing I'm going to say, and
Right? How can you say it any better than that? Oh, another round of applause. Okay. Yeah. It's incredible. Well, he's a former Republican operative. Absolutely. That's it. You turn your power against, you turn your focus against the one who's the danger to the country. Right? I don't know. Is he former Republican operative? He used to work for them. Now he works for the Lincoln Project, right? Or something. Something like that. I don't know. Let's see. Do I have any more? Oh, you want to see something else that's really annoying? If I'm going to get annoyed, I have to take you all with me. Let me see. Where is it? Oh, God. Oh, my God. There's so many things that really got me. Where the fuck is it? Well, let's watch Morning Joe and Donny Deutsch. Okay? He was on this morning, same thing. I mean, he's going on about how, Biden needs to drop out and give me a break here.
I was one of the few people out there.
This is Biden. This is Biden talking about the polls.
Publicly saying before the 2022 election, there will be no red wave. In 2023, the key elections, I went into those races. Not every one of them, but a lot of them. And I said we were going to win. Look, we won those. They were wrong in 2020. They're wrong in 2022 about the red wave. They're wrong in 2024. You know, on Europe, the polls are wrong in France. They're also right. There's no right wave or tide here in America either.
So there won't be a red wave, just like they said during the midterms. It was going to be a bloodbath. I remember. Don't you remember? They were saying historical headwinds and the polls and the Democrats are going to get smashed in the midterms. They're going to lose the House. It's going to be a bloodbath. It never happened. So here's Donny Deutsch.
AARP poll out of Wisconsin, Donald Trump leads President Biden 50 to 40.
All right, let's just move past these. It's all how everything sucks. The polls, up in the polls, down in the polls. Here's Donny. He's a communications guru, brilliant communications guru who just so happened to pull himself up by his bootstraps and inherited his daddy's advertising agency. It's very fortunate. The universe is in kismet that he just so happened to be a communications master. And isn't that funny? His father had an advertising agency. It's so weird the way things sometimes just work out.
In our last hour, talking to Jonathan Lemire, not exactly a full-throated endorsement, said we're waiting for his decision. He says, I've made my decision. I'm staying in.
Already.
Where are we in this process right now?
This process.
You know, if you become a student of history, every society, before they fall into a dictatorship, there's kind of acquiescence. And there's...
See, you hear this twisted logic? This is acquiescence to dictatorship. We're just acquiescing to the inevitable that Biden is the candidate. This is what he's trying to say. And it's us being complacent where there's no, it's 4 months before the election. There are practical considerations here. It's not like Joe Biden can just hand his campaign war chest or his campaign, the money from the campaign. There are campaign finance laws. So it doesn't simply translate. And for him to say that this is us being somehow acquiescing, another straight white rich man has the luxury to kneecap us in this process. He thinks he's being courageous here, but if, God forbid, Traitor Trump wins the election, it's going to be Donny Deutsch's fault. We're not out here weakening Biden. He is. He's making it worse. He won't shut up about it, just like Rick Wilson said. You shut up about it and focus your power, focus your energy on the real problem here. The one who we just saw in action, who's not that swift. He's not mentally capable. Not only that, they're saying, is Biden mentally capable? What about not just Trump's mental fitness, which is not even comparable. I mean, he's worse than President Biden in that department. But he's also a complete moron with an absolute bottomless pit of ignorance. So, where's the non-stop round-the-clock reporting on that? The mental fitness? Trump has no idea of what he's talking about. According to the cabinet, when he first got into the White House, despite receiving fewer votes, we've heard the stories from Rex Tillerson and the others who left the Trump administration, calling him a fucking moron. That's the quote. Saying that's what Rex Tillerson called him. They had to sit him down and give him a history of the last 75 years in Europe, why NATO exists in the first place. Well, because of a bloody 20th century filled with 2 world wars. The second one sent 85 million human beings to their cold early graves thanks to fascism, right? So the NATO alliance keeps the peace. But Trump doesn't like that. He likes dictators. He wants America to be like Hungary, like Russia, where he gets to tell who can earn money, who's the oligarch. That's what Putin does. You can be an oligarch. You can be an oligarch. But fuck him, right? Fuck this fucking guy. That's my my astute political observation about Donny Deutsch. But come on. You know, this rich white guy who inherited his daddy's advertising agency. Let's listen to what he says.
Resignation. Feels like if we continue with Joe Biden, that's what we're doing.
It doesn't feel
I do not believe in my heart of hearts, and I'm saying this on my children, that Joe Biden can beat Donald Trump.
How fucking dare you? Because the very fact that you're breathing life into that, Donny, I mean, you would think. See, I have a master's degree in communications, but my father was a garbage man. He wasn't, he didn't have an advertising agency for me to inherit. So, but maybe, I don't know. I feel like a guru compared to him. I should give him lessons. He's a communications guru, guys. You feel on your children, your heart of hearts, that Joe Biden can't win the election. Well, as somebody who pretends to actually want that outcome, why are you sitting on a national morning talk show and spreading that? Because, you know, it's like somebody who is an advertising guru for Coca-Cola. I feel like on my heart of hearts, you're going to hate this Coca-Cola. No one's going to want to drink it. From my heart of hearts, on my children, I'm telling you, Pepsi is going to win the soda wars here. Because when you see this Coca-Cola, I swear, it's not going to win. You're not going to like it. No one's going to like it. And I won't be able to live with myself if I don't put that out there. I don't care if I love Coca-Cola personally. I want it to be the best and most I want it to be the most popular of all the soft drinks, because that's my charge as an advertising guru. I've been hired to promote Coca-Cola. But I'm telling you, on my heart of hearts, on my children, it sucks. And, yeah, exactly, Jim. On the chat. This Coca-Cola is too old. Now buy some. Buy some. And then that's what he goes on to say. If Joe Biden's the nominee, I'll support him. I swears. On my children, I'll support. Well, shut the fuck up. What the fuck? I am a communications guru, I think. Can somebody give me an advertising agency? Right? See, that's the fucking arrogance of these people. He thinks, he's a little trust fund brat, like Trader Trump. Like, in fact, George Clooney, I was looking at his Twitter feed, and because I wanted to see what he said, if he said anything besides what he posted with the New York Times, which is on a witch hunt against Biden, as in case you haven't noticed, but of course you have. But I wanted to see, did he have any other comments, George Clooney? And I couldn't believe what I saw, because he said, let me look it up here. Wait. It's just outrageous. Because someone pointed out, like, why are you doing this? Hold on a second. George Clooney. Let's see if I can find it. Why can't I find my own tweets? George Clooney. Where the hell is it? Okay, here it is. He seems to be responding to people who are telling him to shut the fuck up. And oh yes, so this person, Jeff, let me show you what I'm looking at. Let me see. This is Ecamm, for those who are wondering what platform I use to podcast. Here we go. It's good. Ecamm's actually very good. It's taken me a long way. It's had some ups and downs we've had. I was an early adopter. All right, so let me see. So here it is. Here. So this guy, Jeff Opperman, he is just a regular guy. It says dad, husband, communications executive, speechwriter, coach. He's got 106 followers. And George Clooney is attacking him. So George Clooney, this guy, Jeff Opperman, says, calling for POTUS to step aside after POTUS said he wouldn't. Well, let me start again. Calling for POTUS to step aside after POTUS said he wouldn't doesn't help the party Clooney has supported his whole life. Clooney is a talented actor and businessman, but using his influence to change a moot point is not productive. And you know what he responds? This is George Clooney, who responds to a guy. It's almost like Trump, right? Well, not almost. This is what Trump does. He responds, he reposts somebody with like one follower, probably a bot. Anyone who licks his ass, he'll repost it. George Clooney says, name 10 movies you've made, Jeff, with quotes, scare quotes around it. Then come talk to me about productive. What? So I responded, I said, well, Clooney's response says it all. He and his fellow Hollywood actors bashing Biden have now done more to damage his/our chances than Republicans could ever hope to. As he said, Hollywood actors are the only ones who count, and they will be just fine in fascism. As for the rest of us, not so much. But isn't that absolutely outrageous that this Hollywood actor, he's attacking this regular person who said what he said in a very respectful, nice way. He said, it doesn't help the party that Clooney has supported his whole life. Clooney is a talented actor and businessman, but using his influence to change a moot point is not productive. Yeah, that's the truth. And this guy, and he attacks him. But that says it all. Name 10 movies you've made and then come talk to me about being productive. Like, shut the fuck up. This arrogance. Right? There's no humility. That's what Trump has done to this country. There's no just no self-awareness. There's nobody ever said, oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake or whatever. Like, that's just beyond the pale. You can never take responsibility. Just kick back, right? And kick down in this situation. Make 10 movies. So if you haven't been a rich Hollywood actor, then Clooney doesn't give a shit. He doesn't want to know you. Fuck off. So arrogant. Clooney has done, I don't care what he's done so much for the party. He's hurting the country. Shut up, Clooney. He's got access because he's so rich, right? He holds fundraisers for the Democrats. Can't you find a more productive way to voice your concerns without dragging the entire country into a fascist fucking dictatorship that you'll come out on the other side just fine? He'll be fine. He's straight. He's white. He's rich. He's got options. He's not a woman. He's not a woman of color. He's not anybody of color. He's not somebody who's not a rich, who's poor or struggling. He's not trans. He's not gay. He's living he was born in the right body, so God bless him. But it says everything. That says everything. He's so liberal. Oh, if you're not a Hollywood, come talk to me about making 10 movies, because that's the only thing that matters, right? If you're not rich, if you're not in the circle, and these are the same, it's Clooney, it's the Rob Reiner, same thing. My friend George Clooney, that's what he writes. My friend George Clooney. Let's see, Rob Reiner has said he's the greatest, and now he's voicing concerns. Well, are you people stupid? I mean, it's so, can I bang my head against the wall? I don't know. My friend George Clooney has clearly expressed what many of us have been saying. We love and respect Joe Biden, but not enough to shut the fuck up, right? And take this conversation offline. You got to do it right in front of everyone. You got to do it right and for the media to gobble up and run with for 10 days and counting. It's going to be more. We'll be talking about this next week. It will not stop. This is a witch hunt. Like everything else Traitor Trump whines about, it doesn't happen to him. It happens to us. It happens to Democrats. It's either whatever they say is a projection or a confession, as we know. And Traitor Trump, nobody's witch hunting him, of course. A lot of witches, though, were found in the witch hunt. A lot of people went to jail because he's a traitor. If you're a crook, sometimes you're going to get hunted by the long arm of the law. Doesn't mean it's, that's actually, well, now because of this illegitimate Supreme Court, this is what's on the line, fucking George Clooney. Unreal. Oh, and look, Jon Stewart is also trending. Great. Is he? Because he's another one. Unreal. And here's a tweet. Nancy Lee Grahn, I don't know what she is. She's an actress. But she writes, it's easy to take bold risks in the 11th hour when you're Jon Stewart, Rob Reiner, Stephen King, Bill Maher, Stephen Colbert, Jon Favreau. Not so much when you're a woman, a person of color, an immigrant, or pretty much anyone else other than a ridiculously rich, famous white guy. Right? Shut the F up. And you guys know, I mean, we do the show here. I haven't heard a single person, not one person who watches the show or reaches out to me or whatever. No one has said, he's got to go. We got to go. For the sake of the country. Everybody's been like, shut the fuck up already. Please. It's been incredible frustration with the stupid assholes who think that, they're helping by what? By witch hunting our candidate, the president, and they all have to qualify it with how great he is, how good he's done. He's been the best. He's the greatest. So that's what you talk about. You brush off the debate, whatever. He's not, the debate. They have done more harm than the Republicans could ever wish to do since this debate. That's for sure. That is for sure. And if this is Biden, he's doing such a fabulous job, right? That's what they're all saying. And if this is Biden with dementia, then okay, more please. So, what's going to happen? It's going to get worse. He's going to get worse. How bad? That's why we have a vice president. If he loses his faculties in the next administration, we have a vice president. That's why, there's a chain of command. Everything, it's not like, all of a sudden a chicken with a head cut off. Oh, what do we do? Oh. Unlike with Republicans, because that's how they would be. Even though they all wish he would drop dead. We know that's the truth. That's been leaked from the Republican. That Mitch McConnell, there were articles written saying that they all hope he will die behind closed doors. They're all wishing for Traitor Trump to, go home to mommy. Who hated him? His mother hated him. Of course, to know him is to hate him. His kids hate him. They're all damaged human beings. And that's why his son, Don Jr., he's clearly suffering with the disease of addiction. So much so that he can't not use when he goes in front of the entire Republican National Convention and the country, whoever's looking at him, right? Remember what he looked like? And he goes on his podcast, and he doesn't seem sober. We know that. We're not stupid. We see him. We have eyes. Those of us in recovery, we know. Well, we know what we're looking at. We're not dumb, like maggots. And they mock Hunter Biden. He's been open about his addiction. He wrote about it. He's been honest. He says he's in recovery. And that could never be Donald Trump Jr. That is for sure. He would be completely disowned by his filthy father, who hates his guts. And according to, I think, her book, the wife's book, Ivana? Yeah. Well, I know he wants to bang his daughter, but, oh, yeah. Imagine. Why don't they go on about that? But he said to his wife, I don't know if I want to call him Donald Trump Jr. What if he's a loser? That's how you think about your son, right? That's how a normal person thinks about their son. But that's why he'll never get help, Donald Trump Jr., for his addiction. He'll never be like, Dad, I need help. I need to go to rehab or whatever. He'll just be a disgusting, painfully, just a suffering fucker who inflicts his manias on the world because he doesn't have the courage to get the help he needs. Because where else would he be? Where would he be? He's never had a normal job. He's on the dole. He's on the family dole, like his maggot father, like Perjury Trader Green and her family, who just paid her to go to the gym every day. What a fucking life. And then she goes out and tells everybody, vote for me. I'm a businesswoman. You see what I'm saying? It's all a fucking scam. Scam. Yes, Terry says, Jon Stewart is a joke. I watched his first night back and thought maybe he might rise to the occasion. I haven't watched since. Yeah, he really sucks. Cleodin Express Production says, yeah, Terry, you know I had such high hopes of Jon Stewart in his younger days, but that fucker has gone off the rails. Yes, he has. He's doing the both sides, right? Old both sides Jon Stewart. I've seen a few of his opening. He only works on Monday nights, I think. And it's supposed to be great. You know, he's gracing us with his Monday night appearances, but it's all both sides. Both sides, both sides. Old both sides Jon Stewart strikes again. All right, let's see. Let me see. Where is this other? I've been threatening you with Katy Tur, I guess. Oh, well, we didn't... Well, wait. We didn't finish Donny Deutsch. Let's just play a minute of him.
AARP.
Let me forward it. On my children. I hate Coca-Cola. I mean, I love Coca-Cola. I just got hired a big contract
right now
to promote Coca-Cola. But on my children and my life, I just hate it. And I fear that everybody's going to buy Pepsi. And I just got to tell you, I don't think Coca-Cola's going to cut it. But please, buy it. Buy it. If you want to buy it, I'll support it 100%.
To look at the unknown. Right now it's a blank piece of paper.
Oh, here. This is what a great advertising guru he is. He prefers the unknown. Yes, you know how that works. The unknown. What fucking unknown, you stupid fuck? Do these people even think past their own eyelashes, except when they're looking in a mirror? He's such a great guru. Did you game this out a little? Who's the unknown? That's not how it works. You don't vote for Traitor Trump or the unknown. Where are we living? Is this some kind of surrealistic nightmare that I can't wake up from?
Fall into a dictatorship. There's kind of acquiescence, then there's resignation. Feels like if we continue with Joe Biden, that's what we're doing. I do not believe in my heart of hearts, and I'm saying this on my children, that Joe Biden can beat Donald Trump, and that's all that matters. And Joe Biden is a great man, and he's been a great president. But we have to have the courage right now to look at the unknown. Right now Deutsch. It's a blank piece of paper. Let me say what the alternatives are. Vice President Harris, Josh Shapiro, Wes Moore,
Gretchen Whitmer. Shut the fuck up, because you know what? You can't just give... Biden can't just give his campaign money to Gretchen Whitmer. That's not how it works. It will have to be returned. You fucking jerk off. Gretchen Whitmer, who will have nothing. Well, there'll be no campaign ground game. There'll be no money for your big advertising guru. Gretchen Whitmer, Josh Hawley. No, I'm not. I'm only kidding. Big Bird, Elmo, Sesame Street, the cast of One Day at a Time. It's the unknown, but we gotta be bold. How about Detective Olivia Benson? She's great. I wish she would be a great president. Anybody. How about Tara Jr.? How about Spooky? Spooky the guinea pig. Right, Spookarook? Oh, he's eating his hay. Oh, God. It's the unknown. We hate the unknown, but it's going to be good. The unknown's going to be good. Josh Shapiro. Scooby-Doo. Prookie Poo, Dynamite. How about One Day at a Time? Valerie Bertinelli. She'll be good. How about who else would be good? Yes, non-useful, who's very useful, says stocks again soared to fresh all-time highs on Wednesday. as Jerome Powell's remarks on Capitol Hill buoyed rate cut hopes and big tech stocks piled on the gains. Oh, he's been great. He's been great. But he's got to go. We got to go. Let's fuck him over. Now, while, Traitor Trump waits in the wings. On my children. I don't think he can win. Because you're such a great advertising guru, you would broadcast that to a national audience. You broadcast the very thing you don't want. Because that's what you learned in advertising school. Is this real? Is this real life?
Those, I believe in my heart of hearts, give us a better chance. It's interesting.
You have a heart
mentioned
of
the Times
hearts?
report. It says top Democrats swallow fears and back Biden. No, you can't swallow your fear.
Shut
the generations before us, they were great.
No, I can't. He's going on about storming the beaches of Normandy.
Stormed Normandy, right? They had a face bullets.
They stormed Normandy. We can change to the cast of One Day at a Time if we wanted to. Why not the cast of Thousands? How about the Night of 100 Stars? Like, we gotta think bold here. Forget Biden. He's too old. He's been the greatest. He's been the best person ever for the economy, the jobs, the things, the that, the boop, ba deep, ba beep, ba boop. But it's just not breaking through. Because that's all we talk about is the polls. All I say is he sucks. I don't know why it's not breaking through. Let's think bold. Let's have the cast of perhaps, I don't know, you don't have to even pick one. That's why I'm suggesting a cast of a popular sitcom from the 90s or the 80s even. How about the cast of Love Boat? We would have all the bases covered then. You have Julie, the cruise director. Then you can have a drink with Isaac Hayes. And then you had the captain, the steady captain, steering the ship. And you had all kinds of other just casts coming and going. Beloved sitcom stars. All the stars of stage and screen would make an appearance in the White House. Every now and then. Like, I don't know. Angela Lansbury can make an appearance. And Dick Van Dyke, he's been beloved. Then sometimes we could do crossovers like they used to do. They'd have the Love Boat meets Fantasy Island. Right? And then we can have it will be a fantasy team of presidents who never get old. Who never say, billions, millions. Who never look at a traitor spewing lies a mile a minute from a fire hose out of his lie hole they never look with their mouth agape. Right? It would just be the perfect person. We're not asking you to storm the beaches of Normandy. Donny says. We just want you to fucking shoot yourself in the foot and then run a 100-yard dash because we got about 4 months left. Right, Donny? You dumbass. I mean, I thought you were an advertising guru. I need a vacation in a socialized medicine country.
To do that. We're just going to be judged if we have the courage to take on the unknown, and it's going to be messy and scary, and we have to break the furniture. And by the way, if we end up with Biden, it'll be a great stress test. But this is the time, and if everybody behind the scenes does not feel the joy.
If it's going to be Biden, it's going to be a great stress test. Well, shut up then. But what's your name, Donny? Oh, see, maybe I'm not fit to do the podcast. I flubbed my words. If it's going to be Biden, it's going to be great. So everybody go out there. Yes, how about love American style for president? That's right. That was a little bit too... Well, that was a little before my time. I was very little when that show was on. I just remember the theme. I don't have fond memories of, like, you know, the cast of Facts of Life, right? A very special episode of Facts of Life when something would happen, something dramatic would happen. That was my Friday night, Facts of Life, and what was the other thing that was on that night? Well, first it was Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley. Yes. Lenny and Squiggy, exactly. That was the night. And then it was Fantasy Island and Charlie's Angels, right? Charlie's Angels first and then Fantasy Island. I was like a little kid. My friend and I, who was my neighbor growing up, we would get together as chillin'. We were chillin' as children. And would watch Charlie's Angels and Fantasy Island. Okay, whatever. And also then there was... Oh, yeah, and the Partridge Family. What the hell? What am I talking about? Partridge Family and Brady Bunch.
Biden can win. Let's say it out loud.
Listen to this shit. Listen to him. Let's listen to this twisted, nonsensical... I don't even know. I'm looking for a word that's the opposite of logic.
And we have to break the furniture. And by the way,
break the furniture. Break the furniture. You're doing that. You're breaking it right over our skulls.
The courage to take on the unknown, and it's going to be messy and
take on the unknown. It's going to be messy. It's already messy. You're messing it. You're making you're shitting the bed here, Donny. It's a mess.
And we have to break the furniture. And by the way, if we end up with Biden, it would be a great stress test. But this is the time.
If we end up with Biden, he has to put that in there. Well, why don't you shut up? Because he says he's not dropping out, and you're hurting us.
Everybody behind the scenes does not feel that Joe Biden can win.
Not everybody. Not everybody. And you have to be a little sus, frankly, about... some of this shit. They're saying that our European allies are questioning Biden's fitness. Bullshit. Of course, it's all on background. We don't know. Where are you getting this? If that doesn't sound like a Russian psyops, I don't know what does. Because what better way to tear this country apart and tear apart our allies and and America in general and get this traitor elected? That's what they want. Do you think they're going to sit back and watch from afar and be like, gee, I wonder how this all turns out? They're going to put their thumb on the scale. Of course they're going to say to some stupid fucking NBC reporter or somebody, one of these crack White House press corps people that do nothing but sit in the White House press room and go, should Biden resign? That's not real journalism. It really isn't. You have a very cushy job. You show up at the White House and you sit in a room and ask questions. Please.
Let's say it out loud. It doesn't mean Joe Biden's not a great man. He's not the solution now. We can't be governed by fear. And I just feel right now.
Fear? We're fucking petrified. There's a fascist waiting in the wings who says he's going to be a dictator. You stupid. We can't be governed by fear. Easy for you to say. Have you ever had to travel to another state to get the dead baby out of your uterus before you died of sepsis? You fucking goddamn privileged prince. Huh? Have you ever been tormented by Republican policies, try to get your gender affirming care in a red state where they attack you, and now they're ripping it right from ripping the freedom to be yourself, to live your authentic life right out of your hands, as if you have no say in the matter. Jesus Christ, these people are so out of touch. Yes, different strokes. That's right, different strokes. Pleiadian Light Grid Project, I mean. Maud, right? Yes. And then there's Maud. And if we weren't living in the teetering on fascism, we could just have a show like this, talk about the good old, sitcoms, and talk about cats and animal rescue, right? That would be a good show if we weren't battling fascism.
We're afraid of the unknown. The unknown can be exciting and scary at the same time. Let's not be fearful. So generations before us have not.
Do you believe this? Well, it could be exciting and scary, but if Biden's a thing, we're going to do it. All right, I'll support him 100%. But let's not be fearful, because generations before us stormed the beaches of Normandy. Very, very communications guru of you.
Senator Michael Bennet came out on TV last night and said what you're saying. He said, I love Joe Biden. I think he's one of the best presidents.
That's all they keep saying. This is what is killing me here, because they all have to preface it. He's the greatest. He's the best. I love him. He's great. He's done great. Even Katy has to go on. He's been great. He's been consequential. Everybody loves him. They say, but this...
It's in modern history, but I don't think he's going to beat Donald Trump.
Shut the fuck up, because... Oh, all right. I'm sorry. I'm just repeating myself now, because this is what you're doing. It's like I'm repeating myself because I guess they're repeating themselves. This is what we've been dealing with all day. All goddamn day and weeks. For a week. Over a week. Yes, exactly. Haiku on the chat. That Donny bit was word salad scram, because he doesn't know what the fuck he's saying. He's like, we gotta be... He thinks it's like profound or something to say other generations were not afraid. Trust me. They were afraid when they stormed the beaches of Normandy, but they did it anyway, okay? I mean, they're not supermen. These were young men. It's scary. I was in some fake wars. They're pretty scary. Not that I'm not denigrating the sacrifices. Trust me, that's a stupid joke. But this is not storming the beaches of Normandy, making a stupid fucking shit show of your party, while the Republicans sit there and laugh their asses off at the circular firing squad again. Just like Rick Wilson said, this is what Democrats do. They piss their pants. They poop their diapers. They have no spine. They apologize for being on the right side of history. They don't know how to simply play this game. Exactly. Yes. Jim says, I hate everyone at that table. It's so true. I don't even want to... we can't go through this whole thing because we'll be here all night. And then Anand Giridharadas is going on about how we have to... I don't even know what he's saying. We have to... let me just...
I have a post up at the Ink today about what I see as Biden's three choices. I think, and I broke them down according to the kind of human response to threat, flight, or freeze. And I'm not making the choice for him, and no one else here is going to make the choice for him, as you say. But I tried to handicap what those choices are. And I think when you talk about coming back from this, it would have to be the fight option is coming back twice as alive as any president living or dead. If you truly want to come back from this moment, if you want to prove Donny wrong in what he just said, you actually have to show, not tell, right?
Yes, and okay. But Donny and the chorus and the circular firing squad all need to shut the F up. Am I wrong? No, I'm not wrong. Here's the last. I promised you. I didn't want to threaten you with a good time or a bad time and then not play Katy Tur. All right. But it is unreal. Let me I have a few clips. We're not going to get through all of them because it is getting late. It is late already, but this is how it is on a Tarabuster. It's a Tarabuster. It really is. It really... Oh, here. This is kind of good because this is Katy Tur and Cornell Belcher. She's interviewing this is just today. There were every single day. That was the subject of the show. Biden sucks. Everybody sucks. He should Biden, should he step down? It was just every single day. Okay. But this is her talking to Katy. Katy Tur talking to Cornell Belcher, who is pushing back on her bullshit. And she's like, what? But he's old. But he did boop, 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 boop. But the polls.
We've done more damage to Joe Biden than the debate did, and more damage to Joe Biden than any of the Republican attacks on Joe Biden has done over the last couple of years, right? At some point, it is, you hear from voters all the time, like Democrats don't necessarily fight for what they believe in, and they think Republicans will stand and fight harder than Democrats do. And I think we're showing the world that is.
That's the thing. And we've talked about this on the show. The American people, and people in general, want somebody who has the courage of their convictions and fights. What do Democrats do? They never stand and fight. They simply fold up and start attacking each other. And the Republicans, just like Rick Wilson said, they know it. They see it all the time. And when he was working for the Republican Party in various forms, that they could set their clock to Democrats pulling out their circular, going with the circular firing squad, attacking each other. Oh, never fighting. We're on the right side of history. This is why I end the show like this all the time, to remind us, Democrats, normal people, progressives, people who are capable of living in a free, democratic, diverse society, that we're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. You don't have to apologize for that. You don't have to apologize for being right. You don't have to always bend to the will of the Republicans, who are wrong, who crash the economy, who kill a million Americans, who turned America into a land of mass graves. That's all you got to say. Anybody who kills a million Americans, any president who leaves the Oval Office with a country digging mass graves, burying over 1 million Americans, she has no business, besides everything else. Has no business being the so-called president, despite receiving fewer votes again. Okay.
In fact, true that we're reinforcing that narrative. And again, I would just simply ask you, why should any voter want to stand and fight and have faith in Joe Biden if, in fact, so many of his own party are fighting and saying they don't have faith in Joe Biden? Amen. It is suicidal.
Well, I wonder if you want to flip that on its head. Is that maybe the Democrats saying, actually, no, we are fighting for what we believe in, and that is another candidate? I mean, fighting for Joe Biden when you don't...
We believe in another candidate, whoever that is, but he's been great. He's been consequential. We've been fighting. See, she's such a bitch. I'm sorry. Her smugness. and in fact, she even said, and I don't think I got this in one of the clips. She was like, "I've seen Joe Biden for years. He's definitely diminished." Shut up. You've seen him from where? You were on the road with Traitor Trump. But you're cool with that, right? You're cool with this, with the rapist, the felon, the coup plotting Putin puppet. You're cool with that one? With the classified documents and the shitter, you know that one, the pathological liar. You like that when he stands there and calls people fat pig and horse face and and you're gonna tell me Biden's diminished? That's right. Haiku says, did anyone see Trump's golf challenge? Biden should challenge him to a bike race to get there. Exactly. And yeah, actually, Biden, well, we'll get back to the annoying video in a second. Biden, they released a statement. Pretty good one, too. Where is it? Do I have it? I know I had it. I had a hat when I came in. Where is it? That's weird. Let me find it. Biden. It was good. All right, let me play this while I find that statement.
Believe in him. Wouldn't that be more of a opportune thing to do rather than a authentic thing to do?
Oh my God.
You know, I see where you're going, and look, Joe Biden's a nominee, right? And I hear sort of the, you know, he's twisting in a wind. No, he's not twisting in a wind. He's a nominee.
Yeah.
Unless he steps down from that, he is going to be the nominee, right? Unless he pulls back and says, I'm not going to do it, I'm going to release my delegates. He is a nominee because he has the delegates and they're not going anywhere. So unless, you know, so it does become a circular firing squad because he has been very clear that he's not going anywhere. So what good is this continuous fight
I think the question
to bring him down? And I'm not surprised that his polling numbers are slipping again. Why should voters believe in him if Democrats don't believe in?
But Cornell, I mean, the polling number, are you really going to blame it on Democrats coming out and saying that they don't believe in him?
Yeah. I'm going to blame it on you, Katy. Your non-stop witch hunt. Look at her face. She can't handle it. She can't. Wait. She can't even let him finish.
A moment, and allow me if you can to read a little bit more from George Clooney's
George
op-ed.
Clooney. Let's get to George Clooney's op-ed, because that's what really matters. George Clooney.
In it, he says that the Joe Biden that he met with just a few weeks ago at that big fundraiser was not the big effing deal Joe Biden of 2010 and not even the Joe Biden of 2020. But what I thought was really interesting is the point he makes here, and it goes to what you were just saying.
I'm sure you thought it was
he
very
argues
interesting.
It is disingenuous at best to argue that Democrats have already spoken with their vote and therefore the nomination is settled and done when we just received new and upsetting information. We all think Republicans should abandon their nominee now that he's been convicted of 34 felonies. That's new and upsetting information as well.
Oh, my God.
Top Democrats, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, Nancy Pelosi, and senators, representatives, and other candidates who face losing in November need to ask this president to voluntarily step aside. So he's saying that the idea that he's the nominee and we got to just deal with it, he doesn't agree with that.
He doesn't agree with that, guys. George Clooney. A rich white guy. He doesn't agree. And Katy, let me get to the Jon Stewart statement too. Let me get to. Oh my God.
I love George Clooney as an actor. All due respect to George Clooney.
He's an actor.
The delegates at the DNC are Joe Biden's delegates.
He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
And unless he releases those delegates, Katy, he's a nominee.
Look at Katy's smug. Look at her smug face. Like you're sucking on a lemon. That's true. What is wrong with you, Katy Tur? Oh, and I do know, actually, because I was talking to Robin Kincaid about her one day. We were griping about the corporate media. And Katy Tur's father is a trans woman. And she doesn't talk to him anymore, or her, I should say, because of that, apparently. So, yeah, she's got her baggage. It's pretty disappointing. I mean, shut up, Katy. Why don't you just say, wow, I'm sorry you lived your life, in the closet. I'm glad to finally meet you and know you. What skin off your, I was going to say balls, but your ass, Katy, is it that your father is a trans woman? Like, if you don't want to talk to her, that's your shit. And shame on you, really. Shame on you. But clearly she's got whatever. I mean, we all got baggage, but come on. Just her complete, her smugness, the glee she seems to emote, bashing Biden, the non-stop bashing of Biden is telling and showing, especially when you go from her to the show after, which is what's her name, Nicole Wallace, who is doing a great job, in my opinion, because she's focusing on Traitor Trump, Project 2025. The threat, the actual threat here. Joe Biden is not a threat. Joe Biden being a little feeble, this is not a threat. If this is what he does when he's feeble, we should simply say, thank you, Joe. Thank you. You did a great job. You're doing a great job. Joe Biden, him being feeble is not the threat. It's the evil that's the threat. The con man who wants to be a dictator. Why are you looking so, quizzically at somebody pushing back on you? Because all she has are those, in the circular firing squad. Sounds like she was a little bit surprised at Cornell.
I mean, that's not me making it up, right? That's how it works. And he says he's not letting those delegates go. So we need to do what Republicans do all the time and do very well.
How many times are you going to say this?
Stop fighting each other and rally around the candidate that we have. Wait, not perfect.
Right. Look at the lower third here. George Clooney, we need a new nominee. So Cornell Belcher is saying, look, this isn't helping. Joe Biden's the nominee. He's got the delegates. Unless he releases them, we're hurting him. This is suicide. And all the while, underneath, we need a new nominee. Oh, hi, Poppy. Poppy Champlin is in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. The inductee into the Rhode Island Comedy Hall of Fame is in the Tarabuster chat room. There's some applause there for Poppy. Poppy from Oprah. She was on Oprah. She had her own logo special. All right. We got famous people in the chat room. Poppy Champlin. Applause. Can you hear that applause, by the way? I hope it's going out. I don't know. All right, let's back to Cornell.
Rally around the candidate we have, because on his worst day, he's better for better for working Americans than Donald Trump is. And by the way, from what I can see,
that's it. Hello, on his worst day, he's better. And she's like, but, what, wait, look at her face. She's like cross-eyed. I'm not even kidding. Wait, Cornell, wait. But George Clooney says, George Clooney. But what about George Clooney? Cornell, George Clooney said. George Clooney. What about George Clooney? George Clooney.
It's not like the country is in turmoil. I think he's running a really good government, right? There's no turmoil in this country. It's been a clean government. It's been an ethical government.
Right.
There's been no major corruptions. He's kept the European alliances together. He's built.
Look at that smug fucking face, guys. It's like, you know what I mean? She can't handle it. It's like she's like, I'll fucking murder you later. Just cruising through the tube looking for jokes, Poppy. There's some joke. We had some jokes here. Look at her face. It's like she's holding in just her real feelings, clearly. She's like, oh, Cornell, I will murder you in your sleep, you son of a bitch. That's what she looks like she's saying. But her face. Wait. Joe Biden on his worst day is better than Traitor Trump on his but Cornell, George Clooney.
That's not me making it up, right? That's how it works. And he says he's not letting those delegates go. So we need to do what Republicans do all the time and do very well, and that is stop fighting each other and rally around the candidate that we have, though not perfect.
Yes.
Rally around the candidate we have, because on his worst day, he's better for American and better for working Americans.
That's the question.
Than
that's
Donald Trump is.
To the
and
question.
By the way, from what I can see, it's not like the country is in turmoil. I think he's run a really good government.
Exactly.
Right? There's no turmoil in this country. It's been a clean government. It's been an ethical government. There's been no major corruptions. He's kept the European alliances together. He's built an economy back from COVID. He has been a good president. I'm sorry that he's old, but he's been a good president, and we should support him.
I think everyone's saying that he's been a good president. Before I let you go.
Everybody's been saying that. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. All that matters is he's old, and he fucking said that. He was like bubbly. He said millions and trillions. I mean, excuse me. And, he flubbed it. He flubbed it. God damn it. No one's saying he's not a good president. He flubbed the 90 minutes, and it flubbed it, and it was very, very concerning. Because what if he flubs it when there's a crisis, and oh my God. You know what it also is annoying is as if they don't understand how the government works. Biden is not the king. I know she wants a king. She clearly wants Traitor Trump to be our first monarch. So, Biden is not the king. There's a chain of command. He's not, even if he gives an order, unlike with Traitor Trump and his lick-spittle maladministration. They will do, they'll carry out whatever bullshit he asks for. But he's a dumbass. That's why all the most evil, he surrounds himself with the most evil people, and they come up with the policy. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He just likes the fact that he can press a button and somebody brings him a Diet Coke. And that's what he said. He likes when he enters a room and they have to play Hail to the Chief. That's it. He likes to get his ass licked by authoritarians. When he goes to Saudi Arabia, they project his filthy face onto walls and whatnot. As he strokes their swords. Oh my God, I have a migraine. But no one's saying he's not a good president. Pisha. I spit on that. I spit on the good president part. But we all saw what George Clooney wrote. Didn't you see it? Didn't you see Rob Reiner's tweet? And didn't you see Michael Bennett's CNN hit? Where he gave the Republicans everything that they need to hang the Democrats and to hang their coup, their next coup. And when they send the traitors to defecate and urinate in the halls of the Capitol again, they gave them everything they need to justify it. Didn't you see it, Cornell?
He's kept the European alliances together. He's built an economy back from COVID. He has been a good president. I'm sorry that he's old, but he's been a good president, and we should support him.
I think everyone's saying that he's been a good president. Before I let you go,
dismiss Pisha.
Quickly, I know you have your own polling. Can you run through what you're seeing with
the polls
from that?
Let's get back to the most important thing: the polls.
Thank you.
Yes, but and it goes to, and this is actually where my point comes from. We did polling of African Americans in battleground states, and it started before and after the debate. And what we see in the polling is among African Americans in the battleground states, those who actually watched the debate were not less likely to vote for Joe Biden. But among those who did not watch the debate, Katy, and heard about the debate afterwards, they were much less likely to say they were going to support Biden. And that's my point, right? I'm making a strategic point.
There you go. You see? This is a media manufactured witch hunt. Of course, if you didn't watch the debate and all you hear are media going nuts and everybody telling, not everybody, but George Clooney and Rob Reiner and Michael Bennet and all these other fucking traitor Democrats telling him to drop out, and the Donny Deutsch, the communications guru who tells everybody that he hates he gets a big Coca-Cola contract, but goes out there and says, on my children, I hate Coke, but you buy it if you want. If you want to buy it, I'm going to support it 100%. But I swear to God, I think people are going to buy Pepsi. What a good communications guru. That's it. It's this would have been water under the bridge. It would have been another, fucking blip on the radar. But and let me not forget the fact that Traitor Trump had a bad debate too. He lied every 5 seconds. He lied with every word that came out of his lie hole. It was stunning. It was dizzying, the fire hose of lies, and it showed us that, wow, this goddamn con man is relentless. He's not going to stop. So what do we deserve? Somebody who goes billions, or somebody who has so much disrespect for the American people that he just lies. What does that say? Obviously he's a malignant narcissist. He's a sociopath. He's a very sick person. And I just want to move off that pole. But he's just a sick person. So why isn't Katy Tur focusing on that? Or because you know why? Well, if she did, it would be the exact opposite. I wish we could play that game. I wish that the corporate media would indulge me for a week, let's say. Incessantly just beat the drum about what a traitor Trump is. And all you gotta do is tell the truth. And focus on his performance during the debate. What if they had presented it as, well, Joe Biden, he looked tired. He said he was sick. He sounded sick. His voice was very raspy. He had some flubs. But we simply cannot accept a candidate that has so much disrespect for the American people that he will not tell the truth. Not only does he seem incapable of truth, he simply will not tell the truth. And we, as a country, we're supposed to be the shining city on the hill. Is that what we are going to accept from a candidate that has so little respect for this country that he doesn't even have the respect to say one true thing during the entire debate? He lied about everything. He took credit for bills that Barack Obama signed, the Veterans Choice Act. He didn't sign that. He takes credit for that all the time, and they never call him out. I never heard Katy say that wasn't him, that was Obama. He takes fucking credit for that. He probably thinks he did that. He signed it. He's told that lie so many times because he has no shame. He took credit for $35 insulin. To stand there and say that Democrats want to kill babies after birth? It's sickening. And of course, the CNN moderators, they're a disgrace. They could have said, this is a lie. They should have stopped him. It's not Joe Biden's job to stand there and fact check. How can you? There's not enough time. But they could have stopped him. But they didn't. They let him go. They let him roll on with this bullshit. That's right. Non-useful says, as far as shining city on the hill, we're the shining resort in the marsh. Oh, that's moron, isn't that? That's, God, help us, please. Katy. You smug thing, you.
Thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Look at my fake smile.
And the strategic point is that we are doing damage to our nominee in a way that Republicans have not been able to do damage to our nominee over the last couple of weeks.
Cornell.
All right, Cornell Belcher, thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Look at me. That hurt saying that, didn't it? Look at my fake smile. Haven't they done studies when you smile without showing your teeth? Like that's a phony smile. Sure. Sure, bitch. Whatever you say. Then we go right back into...
For coming on. I appreciate it.
That really kills me to say that.
Thanks.
And still ahead, is it a crisis of their own making? What the White House has done to fuel more, not less, doubt about President Biden's fitness. It comes in the form of clarifications.
She won't quit. She just won't quit. The bitch won't quit. All right, listen. We got more shit and shows. This is why you got to become a patron. I don't care. I've got to e-beg. There's so many more things I could go on about, but I'm exhausted from life. I need to get unconscious. We have more videos. I guess we're going to have to show them, and we'll talk about them on Friday. God help us. I bet you. What do you want to do? You want to bet? You want to bet that this will still be going on? You want to bet that... Let's see. Let's check in with the Huffington Post. I've been checking in on them as a gauge. Huffington Post. Yep. Schumer open to bumping Biden. First Senator. I should be. Oh, wow. I wish I had. I guess I can go in the Wayback Machine. I should have grabbed these headlines every single day. Because they're all. Everything sucks. Biden sucks. So, yeah, they'll still be going on about this. Yes, she meant exactly, Haiku. She meant this is a crisis of our making. It's as in the media. Exactly. Exactly. But whenever that's brought up, They're like, it's not the media. It's the people. It's the polls. The people in the polls. The people are saying they want somebody new. This is the polls. Why don't they fucking put that high-powered focus on Traitor Trump and watch the polls change, right? Watch the poll. I'm serious. And then do some polls. Then do the polls about how, do you think Traitor Trump is fit to lead a drunken conga line, much less a modern nation? Or not? Do some polls like that. And then beat them to death daily, every single day. Just humor me for a week and see how things change. Because they're creating the crisis. Bring me the headlines and I'll give you the war. Right? Who said that? Give me the headlines, I'll give you the war? Let me see. Who said that? It's from the early 20th century. Give me the headlines. I learned about this in school. I'll give you the war. Yes. Oh, yeah, Hearst. Remington reported back to Hearst that rumors were overblown. To this, Hearst famously replied, "You furnished the..." Oh, yeah, excuse me. I said it wrong. "You furnished the pictures, and I'll furnish the war." Yep. For the Spanish-American War. Yellow journalism. That's what we're looking at. Yep. It doesn't matter. They won't be the ones feeling the sting of the lash. All right, listen, guys. I got to get Spooky to bed. In his... he's got to go to bed. He has a bedroom cage. Not a cage. It's a pen. And Boudica's in the bedroom and blah, blah, blah. I got to get unconscious. I'm exhausted. I could feel my blood pressure, you know. Oh, brother. But, thank you. It's been a great... I don't even know. I'm looking for the word. Conversation? That's right, Poppy. Drunken conga line. That's what I say. Trump is unfit to lead a drunken conga line, much less a modern nation. I need to do a meme or something about that. Or a video. It's true. All right, listen, we will be back. We'll get back together here on Friday, 8:30-ish p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you can, please become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. And there's also PayPal in the description of the YouTube and all that. If you can, because we lost a steady benefactor. Took his marbles and went home. At this critical time, what can you do? But I'm not kidding. I mean, if there's no time like now to support the independent liberal media for real, if you can. I know it sucks. We don't have big billionaire benefactors. I wish we did. I wish my father had given me an advertising agency like Donny Deutsch. He just gave me a podcast. No, he didn't. He didn't give me a podcast. I inherited this podcast. It goes way back in my family. All right, listen, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. I don't know what I'd do without you. Oh, my God. Help us. We're on the right side of history. We will win. Remember that. We will win. We will win. Thank you, Haiku. Haiku says, great show, Tara. Thank you. Oh, Non-Useful says, thank you, Tara. We just adopted another kitty. His name is Sunny. Oh, that's awesome. Well, this show has a Discord page, and you can post pictures of your pets on there. It's been a little not as active as I would like. I should be more active on it. I just have so much shit to do. That's why you got to become a patron. I need fucking be able to get some help around here. So we can get some things done. Get some shit done up in this bitch. For this bitch. You know? Like, get somebody to make some emojis or help with whatever. You know, get the page up. Do something on the damn Discord. I can't do it all. I got guinea pigs poop to... I got guinea pig poop to clean up. Do you know how much they poop? Guinea pigs? They poop all the time. Like 100 poops a day. For real. They just poop, poop, poop. That's part of their digestion. If they don't poop, I mean, they could die. But they have no ability to fart. I know. It's past 11, so I can talk like this. So they have to constantly poop. I learned about this. But, you know, he's very cute. It's tolerable. I wish I could train him to poop mostly in one spot. He's doing better with that. But he's a pooper. He poops a lot. So I'm all day, every day, cleaning up poop. Just little, you know, whatever. If you love animals, you gotta get over that part, I guess. But he's very cute. He's so cute. I'll have to rely on Social Security. Oh, brother. I guess. Well, I will. I'll have no retirement, really. I have no fucking retire. You kidding me? I'll have to... I don't know. I hope I simply die in some kind of catastrophe. Just end it, like, you know? Like going down in that sub. That they apparently died instantly, that before their brain knew it. That would be a good way to go. I should get a ticket on the Titan. The Titan 2. I'm done. I'm telling you, I told you I was going to be done. One day. No, I don't know. That's what I hope. What can you do, though? You can't guarantee. So, I guess I'll have to move in with Poppy in Rhode Island or something. Me, 4 cats, a guinea pig, and all my broken dreams about having a podcast that was not always having to e-beg. Fuck this, right? I'm only kidding. But, yeah, they never fart, Haiku. That's what I learned, because I was looking it up. I'm learning about them, so they don't fart. They just poop. But they're constantly eating. That's the other thing. They graze all day. So it's like just churning it away. So that's why they poop a lot. So it's just like it goes in and out quickly. But it's not smelly. You know, it's just it's very weird. They don't stink, thank God. Like cats. Like cat poop. Stinks. Woo! That's probably because they're carnivores, obligate carnivores. All right, whatever. This conversation needs to get unconscious. All right, my friends, thank you for hanging out. Oh yes, cats do fart. Yep. And it stinks. We will win. We will win, Poppy. Why? Why, Tara? Why? Because we're on the right side of history. We are. And I wish Donny Deutsch would just shut the F up about Normandy. What the hell? Come on. Oh, God. I forgot. You know what we got to do? We have to talk about James Carville on Friday, because that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. What he wants to have some kind of runoff with Barack Obama and Bill Clinton picking the winner. You're moving in with your mom soon? Aw. Poppy's mom is like 90 something, right? Wow, Poppy. All right, why not? Does she like cats and guinea pigs who poop a lot? I understand, Poppy. That sucks. But it's lucky you have your mom. She's got her marbles, so that's good. God, that's why I wish I just want to go out like the Titan. All right, guys, we will win. We'll talk about all this other deep shit another day. We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Become a patron, patreon.com/TaraDevlin. PayPal in the description, other ways. But liberal media, thank you for your support. We stick together, we win. My name is Tara Devlin, and I'll see you guys on Friday night, and I will be taking attendance.